What is up, guys? Philip here with Satisfye, and as you know at Satisfye, we are hardcore gamers. So we thought, hey, we've got to build a new PC. It's actually a VR PC, so why not take you through the process and show you how we do it and what parts we threw in it. So let's check it out. All right, so first of all, let's get this out of the way. We are by no means experts. I used to build PCs back at CompUSA way back in the day, and then again for Best Buy Geek Squad before I started Satisfye, way before I started Satisfye. So I've got an idea of what I'm doing. So that computer you saw behind me, that white one, I built that a few weeks ago. Basically almost the exact same build, just in white. Loved it so much, now we're doing the black one. Again, completely not an expert. I've done this a few times recently, and we need another one, so we're just gonna take you through the process. Check the description below if you're curious on what parts are going into this computer and where you can buy them. All right, so let's get this processor in here. We are going to very carefully open this, and this arrow points which way the processor needs to go. So we're gonna follow that arrow. And the arrow is pointing this way, matching here. Done. So when we're going to install the memory, it's important that we are running dual channel, so we have to look at the DIMMs. Now this motherboard's really great because this tells us first what we're going to do, so we're going to install DIMM 2 and DIMM 2 first. And it gives us a little map here, so this is DIMM 1, this is DIMM 2, this is DIMM 1, this is DIMM 2. So this motherboard prefers DIMM 2 as the primary channel. And this is super easy. We're gonna take it and we're just gonna watch. This is uneven, this is not symmetrical, this is asymmetrical. So this side is slightly shorter than this side. Just match it up with your motherboard, super, super simple. And then you just make sure they line up and push down. Done, you hear that lock, and then you know you're done. And I'm gonna lift up slightly on the motherboard. There we go, clicked in. And now we're gonna put it in the bottom one here. That's the second row for DIMM 2. Let's make sure that we are lined up, great. Everything looks super McDuper. Put that side in first, then we're gonna push on this side, done. Okay, so now let's install the hard drive. This is a Samsung 970 EVO. These drives are super popular and they are crazy fast. I have two choices to install the hard drive. I can install it here, or I can install it here. For this build, the motherboard already has a peg in here for me, so just for simplicity, I'm just going to install it here because the peg's already there. And super easy on this. This is just like memory. There's only one way you can do it. You just match it up, stick it in, and you stick it in at an angle, and then you push down, and then that should line up right inside the groove here. And if it lines up, then you know you're good. Then your motherboard. Your motherboard is actually going to come with these packages here with a little tiny itsy bitsy baby screw. That screw is made for these hard drives. This motherboard in particular came with two. Typically they'll come individually wrapped and packaged. So we only need one for this video, so we'll save the other one for later. And we're gonna open this up and just screw that in, and then we're done. And we are good. And hand tight is good enough on these. You don't want to over tighten, really, you don't want to over tighten anything when you're screwing into a motherboard. So everything on this computer should just be a nice hand tight, and then that's it, back off. Don't crank down in it. You're going to probably damage something. Okay, so we've got the processor installed here. We have our memory modules installed there, and we have the hard drive installed. Now, before we put the motherboard in the case, one more thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that we've secured and installed the mounting bracket for our cooler on the processor, where these holes are. So we're just gonna push them back, make sure it fits, and find the sweet spot. Okay, so that's where it fits. We know we're good. So now that we know we have a good fit, let's go ahead and remove the plastic covering here for the adhesive. All right, adhesive is now exposed, and we can go ahead and plop that back on. And find the fit, where are you at? There you go. All right, I'm gonna pick this up, I'm gonna hold it with my hand. I'm gonna apply a little bit of pressure down here. Now that those are installed, we can find the risers for this, which are gonna go here here, here, and here. So we're gonna put the risers in, and what those are gonna do is those are gonna raise this thing up so that when we put our heatsink on and we mount that down, it's going to be flush, it's gonna be perfect. And just so you know, with this heatsink, they have already applied thermal paste to this, so we don't have to worry about thermal paste. We are gonna keep this on though, just to protect the thermal paste, make sure nothing gets on there. Okay, so here's our manual. This is all the parts that come with the heatsink. Now, we have two options for standoffs. These are gonna raise it up. We have an LG 115X, and we have an LGA 115X and LGA 2011. You just need to know which one you have. Well, it's really simple because look at what we have right here. This is a 115X, so we're just gonna match those two. And this is exactly what we're looking for. We are looking for one that is symmetrical and thin on both sides, and that's it right there. And then we just hand screw them in. Pretty easy. And we're not gonna use a tool for this. Literally, we're just hand tightening. Sweet, we're done. Standoffs are in. We've got all four mounted. Great. We are gonna take the faceplate to the motherboard and we are gonna install that now because the motherboard is going in. And that's super easy. I'm gonna pull this back and you literally just pop it in. Snap-a-doodle. And that one takes a little bit of pressure. And you can see now that that's installed, so it's in, I can tell I'm pushing, this isn't falling back out. Okay, so we are carefully and gently placing our motherboard in here. And our aim is to line up the ports on the motherboard. These ports here, we're gonna line these up with here, the faceplate. And I got a cable in my way. Get the hell out of my way. We know we're in the right spot because we're lined up right here on our faceplate, at least fairly well lined up, and we can, push in if we need to a little bit. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna check our holes. I can see we're good here, we're good here. We are aligned here on that peg. And now we can go ahead and start to hand tighten down. Again, not too tight, just barely. And we are tightened, done. Motherboard has been mounted. Everybody gets a A+. Okay, we're gonna do the power supply. And then we just line that up in the grooves, really easy, lines up, and then we're gonna screw on the top of this. All right, we got our cables through, and now we actually don't need all of these cables. We don't need probably half of these cables because of our build. So we need this one, which is gonna go to the motherboard, and these are conveniently labeled for you. So this one's not really labeled for you, but this does go to the motherboard. This is our power for the fans, and the fan controller. And yes, we are lined up great. Done. Fan power set. And we will go ahead and zip tie all these cables later. This isn't the time to clean up cables. We just need to get cables where they need to go, and we will clean up later. Okay, to the CPU. CPU, you go here. We're actually gonna run this under this one. And I've got another CPU cable that I need to plug in, and that's gonna run over here as well. And VGA, you're gonna go down this way as well. And that's gonna be our video card right there. All right, we're all set. Let's get this turned around and let's start plugging these into the motherboard. The video card, if we take this here, this also requires power. We're just gonna set it in. I know that I'm gonna go either on this one or this one. I've got two PCIe slots I can throw this in. I would like to mount the PCIe on the bottom one to keep it away from that RAM. Maybe I'll throw it up here. I'm not sure yet. Either way, I can see there's my power. I'm definitely not gonna wanna run power from here all the way to here. That's gonna look like shit. So we're gonna go from here out into here, and that's gonna look 10 times better. So here we go, motherboard. You are gonna go in here. All right, that's seated and in place. CPU. Let's get you in. It's so hard with all the equipment all up in your face. All up in your grill. Okay, let's go. Come on, get in there. And I can barely see. So let's use this hand. Got that one in, sorry. So now the second CPU is powered. And we are in there. Great. Super. And now we can clean up our cables after, push those in just a little bit. We'll hide that one. Motherboard is powered, so we're good on power here. We can tuck that back in. We're gonna pull these two out for our VGA, which is gonna power our video card. All right, so before I put on the heatsink, before I put really anything else in this, I've got maximum exposure, I have maximum room. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna wanna actually get all of these fun time cables into the motherboard before putting anything else in this thing, because once everything else goes in here, these are gonna start to get really complicated. So let's make our job and our lives easier by installing these. All right, and so all of these are, a lot of these are gonna be, so this one's labeled, this is the USB ports that are for your case. This is the HD audio port. These are the reset switch, the power switch. And we have here power LED, what is that? Power LED and 2 power LEDs, super. And what else do we have on this thing? What is this? What are you, friend? I believe this is, yeah, this is a fan. And we've got another fan right here. So we've got 2 fans, all sorts of good stuff here. Also, we've got 2 really, really small ports of entry right below each fan. We're gonna take those just because we're gonna be super, super anal about cables on this build. And we're gonna try to keep them visible cables to an absolute minimum. Okay, so looking at the manual here, page 19 on this manual, we are looking at our front panel connectors. So power LED, power switch, hard drive LED, reset switch, and the front audio connectors. This is telling us which way they go, positive and negative, and on which one. So we want JFP1. So then we're just gonna come over here and we're gonna look on the board for JFP1. System fan here, and then JFP1 is right here. So this is where all of our connectors are gonna go. So again, using the guide here, we are gonna start with the power LED and the power switch. So let's grab the power switch here, and the super, super fun ones are always the power LEDs. And we have positive and negative there. And then this one, oh good Lord, okay. There's a little arrow. This is the stupidest little arrow. This arrow here. So that's how you're gonna know which one's positive and which one's negative. And to be honest, I actually completely forgot what that arrow represents. I believe it means positive, but I'm gonna have to Google that because I don't freaking remember. So yeah, Google's your friend when you build. Confirmed, the positive is marked by the little arrow, so now we know which one's positive. These are clearly marked positive, negative. Power LED, positive on the right, on the left, negative on the right. And shoving those bad boys in. All right, we got our switches in, sweet. Okay, J audio connector. Time to connect the audios. In. Audio, HD audio. Well, this one's pretty easy because it just goes right there. And we match the pin. I'm gonna run it under this guy. Under and through. Okay, HD audio, you are in. And USB, and we're gonna just go USB 1 for this one. Pulling you out, pull this cable out, but really try carefully to not mess with these ones because these ones like to just pop out super easy. Matching the pins. USB 1 in, done. Done, done, done. All right, now we can tidy up cables. Whew, okay. We've got the 2 fans here now. They're installed, system fan 1 and in system fan 2. Those are done. Now let's get the heat sink in this bad boy and installed. So to get the heat sink in, we're actually gonna have to take off this glass plate. Okay, a little dust shield is off. Let's get our fans going here. So what we're gonna do is this thing's gonna go up and in very carefully. Oh, good Lord, Troy. How the heck did I do this last time? Why am I struggling? Oh, shit. No. So super complicated right now is getting this cooler in here. Holy fun times. This thing was a beautiful blessing to get into its position. And of course that fell off. Wow, that was a pain in the butt. So getting this thing in was epic. We had to pull this whole front plate off, take this front fan off in order to squeeze it in, and then finagle the cables into place. Wow, honestly, not gonna lie, that was a, but we got it in. So now we can go ahead and start screwing down. Let's at least get something started on that. And something started on this corner right here. All right, so we got the heatsink on now. USB, and you only go one way, and that is the way you go, which is why you're a right angle. Okay, got it. Let's tuck those back, let's hide that. That looks pretty clean. That's seated in there. Okay, and then this cable here, if you can see, this is USB only. This needs to go to the bottom of the case down here in one of the USB only spots, like right there. Oh, we got it. It's in, looks good. Great. These cables, we are not going to mess with these cables because I am not taking this thing back out again. So we're just gonna probably zip tie these and run them right here behind the memory DIMMs, which yes, we did have to take out in order to get the heat sink and radiator in. So let's leave these over here, which is where we're gonna run them, and let's put back in our memory. Remembering that we need to install these memory units, not forgetting, back in the DIMM 2 slots, which was here and here. Okay. You're in, click. DIMM 2, do it the right way. You're in, seated. Click, great. Woo, making progress. So our cables are looking pretty good over in this corner here. I mean, that's about as good as they're gonna get. A big lump of cables there, but not too bad. These cables can't do anything about those. Those are feeding the heat sink, and yeah, they need to stay there. These cables, we're gonna do our best to hide these cables and get them around and out of the way. We do need to understand what cables are here though. So we got some fan cables, and which are gonna control these. We have RGB, which are going to control these as well. So let's see where everything goes on this. All right, those are 2 fans. It looks like 2 fans and 2 RGB controllers, and then a power, and then a CPU fan, which is gonna go right here. So this guy is the CPU fan, and he can live in a world of his own, and this can be split off and separated. So we're actually gonna strip this apart, and we're gonna plug that where it goes in its home. Goes to CPU fan. All right, CPU fan is in. His life is happy, cable tucked away. Probably gonna run these, I'm not sure where yet. We'll figure that out. Probably down this hole here. I think we're gonna flip this computer around. We're gonna get these cables in, which are the last cables to the heatsink, and that control the fans. And then we are going to tidy up cables and get the video card installed. And then we are like almost done here, guys. Let's run some zip ties on this little bundle of fun here, just to keep it clean and somewhat visually appealing. And not too tight on those zip ties. And all these cables connect together in fun-loving harmony. All right, this is going to the RGB hub, so this needs to come out. It's really nice that they label this thing pretty well. So this cable goes to the RGB hub, we pull that out. This cable here goes to the RGB hub. there. This cable here and this cable here both go to these little extenders right there that are poking out, and that needs power. So let's plug these fans in. This is just the extension here. So you plug in here. Great. You're a happy little camper, and you plug in. We need to undo this zip tie first. Okay, 2 fans are plugged in. Now they need power, which I've got a power spot right here for. So serial ATA. Boom. Power and power. And there we go. Okay. Those are in. These 2 go to the hub. And now, last but not least, we've got all our cables ran. Let's get this beautiful bad boy. That is a 2080 Ti, because this is going to be a VR build, and we went top of the line, kind of, on this build. Card is seated. Let's push that down. Locked in. Locked in. We're good. Let's screw that in place over here. So let's get these cables in. Here we go. First power cable. You are gonna go in this way. Square peg, square peg. There we go, that's in. And let's get this one in here. That's in. All right, let's zip tie these 2 guys together. All right, so let's just cinch these together here. These are totally gonna be in the way of the case glass, but not too bad. All right, we're looking pretty good. Let's see, how is our cable mess looking here? Not too bad, not too bad. Probably could have done a better job, but I'd give this a B. Let's go 1 more zip tie down here. Now is the moment of truth. Connect it to a monitor, grab a keyboard and mouse, hit the power button, and let's see if this thing turns on. Computer set up now. This is the moment of truth. Did we do everything right? Here we go. Good, good. All of our RGBs are working well. All right, let's see. Control delete. CPU. Running at our current clock speed, 31 degrees Celsius. That's cool. Oh. That was a long build. That took way longer than it should have. Let's hope I have a Windows flash drive. I think I do somewhere. All right, you guys, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, you are epic. I love you. Let us know if this video is helpful to you. Comment below, thumbs up the video if it was. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, smash the bell icon, and follow us at Satisfye Gaming on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blah, 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 and everything else. I'll see you guys in the next video.